Hey guys, thanks for joining me. And if you like what you see, please subscribe.
Hello, people. So welcome to Sharp Ends. I'm really afraid about what I'm about to do. I could be destroying a knife, but this is all in the purpose of education, right? This is the Reate PL-7. This has a pivot lock in here. Why am I so afraid? Because I don't know what I'm doing when I take apart this pivot lock, and I'm really worried that I might not be able to get it back together again. Now, I've taken apart hard things in the past. Like I changed the detent magnet on my Mirage. Where's my Mirage? This gave me a heart attack. Okay, this was really hard. All magnets inside, nothing like I ever did before. But I do have a tendency to be successful, so I hope I will be successful today. And if not, this will be an educational journey for you too. Please, first, smash that like button, subscribe, leave a comment. Really helps the channel. As always, thank you to my Patreon supporters. So I went around and I checked, and this is all T8. I usually get prepared for a review by taking a knife apart. This is the Ultim scales, and it looks like it has some minor, um, you know, anodization of the pocket clip and the pocket clip retainer for the left-hand side, which I appreciate. You can kind of see before I take this apart. I don't know if you can see or not, but this, watch the center part. It's going to pop in and it recesses there. And then when I push this button on the other side, which is a button with a Torx head in the middle of it, when I push that comes up. And so what I'm thinking is that recesses into a slot in this blade shape right down there that locks it all up. This is Nitro V2, and this is under $100, just under $100. I think it's like $97 or something like that. So, and with this swooped up blade, I mean, who am I to say no? So, which side should I take this apart from? I don't know. I'm going to take it apart from this side because this is the side with the pivots on it. That's what I'm going to go for. Oh, I should also mention this also has a lock here, so I can lock it open. I guess that's because somebody might like be worried that if they're squeezing real hard or coming up like this, they might have their thumb on here and they might accidentally unlock it while they're pushing down, and therefore you need a lock to lock it out. Yeah, again, I'm not sure. And I'm not sure if this is really going to work. I don't have to do this. I'm really curious and I'm really afraid. But we'll see what happens. I was worried about that, so I think that I need to take out this as well. This spacer filler for the clip. I think I need to take that. So I tried to just move it right now, and that Ultim was still locked in there, saying to me that, yeah, and now it comes out. So there is a screw hole there for that. So that back screw is not, it is also holding on that Ultim. And now we can kind of see the insides here. Will he go farther, he says. So now that was a shell. And here you can see there are some more Torx head screws. And this is the lock. And you can see, so here's the button. You can see when you lock it out, you're pushing this guy over into the path, thereby keeping it from going down. Super simple. It does feel a little loosey-goosey now, though, without the Ultim scale. So maybe that's only held in with a spring or something like that, and I could mess something up. That's the other thing, too, sometimes when you're taking apart a knife is you might shoot a spring across the room. You'll never get that back. It's kind of like Linkin Park. If you know that song, you'll never get that recipe back again for that cake. That's right. Made a Linkin Park reference. Now you're going to have to scramble, go look up that song, see what I'm talking about. Or not. It's really not that important. But it's a really weird song when you think about it. Linkin Park is a song about losing the recipe to a cake. Weird. All right. So what am I going to do now? That's a good question. So I'm looking in the bottom. I see that this has, these two guys here for the backspacer. The backspacer, by the way, is really nice how they have this V indent here. Looks really cool. This Torx head screw right here is somehow holding the mount. It looks like it's holding a bracket that holds the whole pivot part together. And again, I could be taking this apart from the wrong side. Like it might be better to be taking this apart from the other side. And I just don't know if that's the case. By the same token, there's some jimping on the side of the pivot lock right here. I don't know if you can see that. And it looks like this guy right here, this bracket, has a little piece of steel dimple coming in here, and it's inside this slot here. So I really hope my camera is able to focus on this. So I feel like if I get this backspacer off, nothing is going to happen. But let's see what happens. And I had to change out my Torx head bit to something smaller. I'm betting that this is 6. I didn't check before I put it in there, but I'm pretty sure this is a 6. So the outside scales were 8, and now we're going down to 6. And I'm kind of lining everything up in order that I took them out, and leaving them out over there. If you're curious about any of the tools I use, they're very cheap and accessible. If you go down to the description of this video, you'll see some Amazon links. All those links link to a bunch of the tools that I'm using right now, so that you too can take apart your knives and be a dumbass. Yeah, so it's still not coming apart, which I figured would be the case. So now the next part of this, obviously, is that I'm supposed to take apart this part to get this pivot out. God, that scares me. So maybe what I'm going to do is take apart this knife from the other side. Was that a T6, by the way? Yes, it was. Just to make sure that I'm not missing something obvious, and this knife is supposed to be taken apart from the other side. And about those Amazon links, those are affiliate links, which means I get like 30 cents if you decide to buy anything from that link. So, you know, take that with a grain of salt. Could be an easy way to support this channel. If you see that there, you know that, hey, Sharp Ends will get 30 cents. In which case I take that money, I use it to buy a knife, which I will review. Something like this guy right here was a way that I probably spent my profits, quote unquote, from my affiliate link so that I could do this, and then eventually I'll probably give this knife away to my Patreon supporters. So it's a whole cyclical type thing. I mean, I'm losing money on this. Don't get me wrong. This whole thing is a crap show. But, all right. So now we can see the other side of this. And we can see that there's 3 more Torx screws in here in this pivot assembly here. Can we actually see how it works though? And that provides the detent. There's like a halfway down point here, providing the detent. This pivot is providing the detent. You can see there's a, okay, so there's a recessed area right here for the, and here for the overlock. I'm using the wrong term, but I'm blanking on it. A little bit of grease and dirt in there. I don't think I'm going to take the pivot apart itself because I'm just too much of a scaredy cat, but it is pretty cool. And I think that the next step for this, because I've taken this apart, and the only thing holding this now, I think, is this little screw right here. Is that a T6 as well? That looks even smaller. No, it is a T6. Oh, okay, guys, should I do it? All right. Only like 2 people watching this, and yet I feel the pressure of those 2 people. All right. So that little bracket bar I was telling you about that's holding that pivot lock in there, I'm going to take this off, and hopefully this doesn't spring out and shoot parts everywhere. I'm sure this isn't covered by warranty. All right. So now that little plate is gone. That little plate was right there. All right. Nothing bad has happened yet, and I don't know the purpose of that. I guess the next thing I would have to do is take these 3 off back here. And I think that that is just one step too far for me, and I'm not going to do it. I'm just not going to do it. I'm going to put this back in the hope that I haven't damaged this, and go from there. So this pivot lock is really cool. What is the drawbacks of this? So the machining, Reate is really showing off with this pivot lock with as far as their machining and their capabilities and everything, the way this is put together. They have a lot of extra holes. They have, the Ultim is a great choice of a material to kind of show off that you're willing to try new things. And it has all these speed holes that really aren't practical. Maybe it does take away a little bit of weight, but honestly, not very practical. So I've gotten that little thing back there. I think the next step, like I said, would have been to take this shell off here, and then the whole thing would have come out. And I'm just not willing to do that. While this is open though, and in this position, I will take a Q-tip and I'll go ahead and clean this up. Here in this pivot, there is lots of extra oil in here. I'm just going to get some of that out of there. I don't think I'm going to put any more oil in there. I don't think we need to. But while it's open, I might as well go in here, and any hair and lint, pocket lint that's gotten in here, I will just go ahead and take out. I'll clean that blade off too. I'll do a final polish of this, just getting the extra grease off. I can feel the grease on my fingers too. And now I need to put these two smaller inset screws back in, and these were the T6 dudes. So we'll put those in. I'm not going to use Loctite on these. Just don't think it's needed. I've come to use Loctite when I need to use Loctite. When something is proven that it's not going to hold, that's when I use it. And so yeah. Yeah, so now I'm just going to put this back together here. Yeah, Loctite also with plastics and stuff like that, it can corrode it. If you put too much on, taking it back out again, you can then strip the heads of your nuts real bad if you're not careful, if you like that. Now, what happens if you have Loctite and say, for instance, you want to oh, I see that right there. There we go. What happens with the Loctite if, say, for instance, they've put too much on the factory. It was a Friday afternoon, and the dude just went ahead and splooged Loctite all over your knife pivot, and you want to adjust it, but it's not coming out, and you're afraid you're about to strip everything to hell. My suggestion to you is to take a heat gun or a blow dryer and just warm it up a little bit. You don't have to go crazy, and then try again. And if it's still hot, then do it again. Keep doing it, getting it a little bit hotter at a time until it comes out. If it's one screw in particular and you're worried that you're getting everything too hot, you could also take a soldering iron and just touch it on the head of that screw that you're having trouble with, and be more isolated with how you're warming that part up. But I've never had to do that. I've only ever had to use a heat gun or a hair dryer to get it off. So yeah, there's the screw for that. All right, so what do I think? I think Reate makes wonderful knives, and I really appreciate that they made this for lefties to enjoy as well. I like the materials they used. I think the Nitro V being one of my favorite knife steels ever, and coming in this unique pivot lock with a touch of anodization on the clip is just brilliant. And I think the machining on this is really good. Maybe I would have been fine taking it all the way apart. Let's see if I've damaged this at all. No, the action feels good. It's locking, not letting me push down there. Action feels exactly the same. Yeah, and that's another good point. Is like, how do you adjust this for lockability or for detent? You know, like, how can you adjust the detent? I don't think you can. I think you just have to trust Reate. So yeah, all right. So now next I'm going to be doing a full review of this, and we'll see how that goes. Thanks for joining me today. Sorry I couldn't take the plunge and fully commit there at the end. I guess I just couldn't do it, buddy. But like, subscribe, leave a comment. It really helps the channel. If you want to get a chance to win a knife like this one, all you got to do is follow that link down below. For $3 a month, you get joined Patreon, help support make this content, and get a chance to win a knife every month. Thanks so much, people, and I will see you next time on Sharp Ends. Bye-bye now.